Okay, so now we're going to add another pumpkin to this picture, but we're going to turn it to its side, and we'll start by putting it in, drawing it in with pencil, and then we'll make this second one a colored version of the same idea. But so you turn your page so that it makes sense to you. You try to imagine the pumpkin laying on its side. So, and part of it is behind this one. It's hidden. It's behind. So our big oval, we make our center oval here, but part of it's hidden behind the other one. And then I'll add our other bumps. And no pumpkin's ever perfectly round or perfectly shaped. Some depends on how they grow, where they were sitting, how they were sitting. So sometimes they're oblong. They're not always perfectly round. And so we're going to make this one a 5 bumper. And I'm not going to put too much pencil on it because we're going to put it in color. I'm going to make this one shaped a little bit oddly. This stem is going to have a funny sort of shape. Not that funny. Let's just, yeah, okay, something like that. But instead of using pencil, we're going to use crayons. Now, I'm not sure how great these crayons are going to be because I got these at the dollar store. And I'm not sure how great they are, but I'm trying out all kinds of inexpensive tools that people can use and seeing if they work. And that'll give you a chance to have an art supplies that may not be too expensive. So I'm going to again leave some areas white. I should have actually, I've got to think now. The sunlight is still coming from this direction. So now the shiny spots are going to be along here instead of where we were. So I'm going to draw those shiny spots. I'm going to outline them with yellow, not pencil. So now the shiny spots are going to be like that. Slightly different place than in the other one because this pumpkin's sitting in a different angle. So that's the part I'm going to leave as white. And then I'm going to start by putting yellow underneath everything. Start with your lightest color and give the whole thing a bit of a yellowy undertone. And again, I've got the crayon on its side. And just like before, a light color over the whole area, and then I can go darker in the shadowy areas. Go darker in there. Press harder with the yellow down the creases and the edges. Again, pressing with the tip. And going darker all the way to the bottom. I don't want to put too much because I'm going to be putting other colors over top and want them to be able to work on top of this. All right, so I've done the whole thing basically with a bit of a yellow undertone. And then I'm going to take the next color, orange, and repeat that process by, again, outlining. These oranges is basically the main color, but the yellow is sort of represents a bit of the shiny area and how the pumpkin changes color a little bit based on the light effects. So where the sun is shining, it might have a little bit of a yellowish hue, and where the sun is not shining. And you can turn your pencil this way a little bit on the to do the crease parts, to outline a little bit to get that darkness. And then once you've done that, back on the edge. And again, now the pumpkin is curving this way, so your lines have to go from the edge in And it's, you know, where the bump is biggest, it'll be the lightest. It's darkest toward the crease. And this is almost a red, not an orange. I wonder if I have another color. Well, this one's going to be more red. This, I have to say, this orange is not very orange. And again, lighter and lighter towards your shiny spot. And darker toward the creases. But since the light is coming from here, this time, instead of the creases being equally dark, the top crease is not going to, this crease is now the top, it isn't going to be as dark as the one here on this side. So all the darkness, we're going to have this one shaded more dark towards the bottom and more light towards the top. So this is going to be a little bit different than this one, where it was equally dark sort of in the crevices and equally shiny along the top. Now this becomes our top. So we have to keep that in mind, where the light's coming from. Keep that lighter towards the top and most of the darkness. So your curved lines can go curved, your motions can be curved in the same direction as the line, and they can be curved in the same direction as the pumpkin's shape. And again, this one will be, this bump is darker down towards the crease and lighter towards the top. And with the yellow underneath, you do have to press harder with the orange because you've already got color on the paper, and the paper doesn't pick up the color as much. That's why you don't want to press too hard with your first color or put too much crayon on the paper before you get going. Try to blend it in. And same thing with the last one, except this one gets to be even darker, so we can start off fairly dark to begin with. But again, curved lines. And how we can make this one darker without pressing so much with the orange is to use some brown. Let's try this brown. How there we can get some more contrast by where it's even more in shadow. We can use brown to show how the lack of light has altered the color of the pumpkin. I have to say these colors are not as good as some other colors, but crayons are not that expensive, so I guess you don't need to worry about dollar store crayons. They're okay, but your Laurentian crayons would do a better job of that. And if that's not enough contrast, then you can use the black to get even more, and that will give us an extra layer of contrast. Now I have to say it comes out quite different on the webcam than it does. I'll have to take a photograph of this because it's Looks a little bit different on the with the webcam than it does when I'm just looking at the paper. Okay, and giving that orange, but leaving, I guess that should be darker down in this side, darker down in there, because that's in shadow. It's underneath the stem. Could even have a really dark piece here because the stem is shading that area altogether. And we need to put some green on the stem. Start with the lighter green and go over the whole stem, and then use our darker green as the shadowy area. And again, using the dark in the place where and this can be very dark because now it's pointing away from the light source. And again, for a little extra, we can put some black on top. All right, so that gives us our